1.21.6 is primarily about the Happy Ghast, a new rideable mob, and you can see it's useful for both transport and transporting mobs. The primary purpose of the Happy Ghast is a very slow but stable aerial transport, which is useful for getting to hard to reach places vertically. You can also stand on it, and you can see it does not move, which makes it a very efficient way to decorate large walls, or if you want to traverse the overworld or even the end. Right here, by the way, beautiful seed, you can see it in the bottom left. There is a bit more fog in the world, and it provides a little bit of a haze over things. This is also affected by the Pale Garden, but essentially this is the intended look and feel of the game. On Bedrock Edition, they have vibrant visuals, which will be coming to Java at a later date. For now, we have this fog. I have mixed opinions about it, but oh well, that's not part of the video. To begin your Happy Ghast journeys, you must start with a dried ghast, which will generate inside these little bone structures inside the Soul Sand Valley, specifically the ribcage. You can also get them by bartering, or potentially even just crafting like this. Not the cheapest recipe, but certainly renewable. Once you have your dried ghast, transport it to the overworld and leave it submerged in water like this. Over time, it will become happier and more moisturized. Eventually, it will turn into a ghastling. The ghastling is of course a baby Happy Ghast. You can see it still has a bit of red from its gills, and it will grow up faster by snowballs. You can see right here, very easy to grow up, and after 20 minutes, it will become a fully fledged Happy Ghast. Once these guys have grown up, they'll have 20 health, their baby version has the same, and they have much shorter tentacles. Additionally, they can never be hostile. In order to ride them, you will need a harness though, which is surprisingly cheap and can be made in all 16 colors. Then, what you need to do is approach it and give it a harness. And of course, from here, you can ride it around. Hold space to make it go up, or you can hold down W and it will follow your current direction. If it is damaged, it will regenerate at 1/2 heart per 30 seconds, or 1/2 heart per second if inside the cloud layer. Be careful though, this guy is not immune to lava. It has more uses than just transportation because of course, that would get old very quickly if it could only be used for transportation. Right here, if we shift right click on a ghast, you can see it can now hold things. And this guy can be used for a lot of things, not only just sniffers, but it can also hold boats. So let's place down a chest boat right here, attach a lead to it, you can do that, and then shift right click, and what do you know? It's also an item transporter, which means even if you don't have any use for it, still, it can be used for transportation of more annoying things rather than using the nether and minecarts. Mainly as a Java Edition exclusive, although as an experiment on Bedrock Edition, there's a locator bar. You can see my experience bar, although I've somehow got a glitched texture, can now track things. You can set certain entities to be part of the locator bar, using attributes. However, if you're in a multiplayer setting, this will also apply to players, which means you'll be able to find each other easily. However, if said player is wearing a carved pumpkin or a mob head, you will not be able to do so, which means stealth is still possible. Same thing with crouching and such. You'll still be able to have your stealth, but you'll also be able to communicate and work together more efficiently in a multiplayer setting. The clouds in this update are different and occasionally contain a creeper pattern. Along with that, the clouds are much more unique now, even if they might all look the same. There are many more variants. Additionally, you can set a cloud render distance. You can see they stretch out to the horizon rather than awkwardly unloading. This is controlled by the cloud view distance, which can either be 2 chunks or 128, and it seems like it has a very low impact on performance, which means everyone's probably going to crank it up straight to 128. Either way, it looks really nice. There are also 5 new tracks in the game, one of which is the Tears music disc, which is gotten by Return to Sender. This can be repeated indefinitely. Along with that, the 4 other tracks will generate in certain biomes, well, play, not generate. And you can see here, if I turn on this music slider, I can set the music frequency from default to frequent, constant, whatnot. And also, I can have a music toast, which means if I crank it up, set it to constant, well, right here, Left to Bloom by Lena Raine, which means you can have music actually show up. You'll know what song you're listening to. Also, the locator bar still shows up in creative mode. If you do not like this mechanic, you can also disable it. You can see down here, well, there's nobody to track right now. If there is, you might not like that, so you can definitely disable it. Finally, saddles have been removed from loot tables. This is because they're now craftable with 1 iron ingot and 3 leather, which means you'll have a much easier time getting, well, animals. No more going around and having to scoundrel every single chest. Okay, well, that's about it for non-technical details, so either way, enjoy the rest of your day. Gearsaw out.